Hello friends, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So 2019 is just around the corner and we all know that now is the time of year people start to make New Year's resolutions. Now last year I attempted to make a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions, and if I were to look back on what they are, I made a whole bunch of them. I've probably accomplished about none of them. So I'm not going to be making too many New Year's resolutions for my life this year. But reading, that's a different story. In 2016, I set myself a reading goal to read 100 books in a year. I did not make it to 100, I only made it to 80, which is still a huge accomplishment, but I did not really set a realistic goal for myself. I also didn't go into that goal with much of a game plan. I only knew I wanted to hit this target by the end of the year. But for 2019, I'm going to change that. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how many books I want to read and which ones I want to read, and also if you have set yourself some kind of goal or you know which books or a book you want to read in the new year, be sure to comment down below so I can hear more suggestions and also just hear what you guys are doing. So without further ado, let's just jump in. So as I already mentioned, for my number of books I want to complete, I know it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of the books, but I do want to be able to read more in 2019 just to have more books to talk about on this channel, and just like, since I love reading so much, to put a priority on reading a lot, so that way by setting a certain amount of books to read, I know I'll be forcing myself to read more. And so in 2016 I set myself a goal of 100 books and only got to 80. So I definitely know that I can hit 80. But I've aimed a little bit lower than that, and I'm going to try to read 50 books by the end of 2019. And I'm going to accomplish this by doing the following things. One, as I'm going to talk about a little later in this video, I'm going to set out books that I want to read. That way I'm like excited to read and not just trying to hit a word count goal. If I'm reading, like if you're reading something you're excited about, chances are you're going to be way happier and want to read through it way quicker and just enjoy the story and reading process so much more. And two, I'm actually gonna try to read every day. At least if it's one page or a half a book, like whatever it is, I do want to try to read every day because I do enjoy reading, and I've just found myself like putting it off sometimes just because like I'm not making time to do it. So I do want to be able to read more books and all that kind of stuff. So that's how I'm gonna try to hit 50 books for next year. If you have any book suggestions on what I should read for my 50 plus books, be sure to comment them down below so I'm aware and maybe you could add them to my list. Now for the part of the video that I'm really excited about. I have been wanting to read so many books for so long. If you're like me, your TBR is so long, so big, and you just don't know how to handle it. But I've made a list of books that I am really excited to read that I just have not gotten around to reading, so I'm excited to talk about them right now. I'm gonna go through 5 book series and 5 standalones. For my book series, 3 of them actually go together, and you could probably guess what they are. It's The Mortal Instruments, The Infernal Devices, The Dark Artifices. Those 3 series by Cassandra Clare. I feel like her series and books, they get so much hype and they're just so like iconic in like the YA universe, so I just know that I really have to read them. I'm currently on the 2nd book in the Mortal Instruments series called The City of Glass, which I'm going to finish by the end of this year. That way I only have 4 more books to go through in that series, and so I do want to read those 3 series in 2019, and I know that if I read those, there's like literally so many books by Cassandra Clare, I'll be at least a quarter or a third way there by the time I'm done reading all her books. She also just released a new book, and I saw the book release on Whole Banana Books channel, and it's called Chain of Gold, I believe, and the cover is beautiful, and I'm super excited. So maybe if I could like finish all those books by November when that book comes out, that'd be pretty great. Another series I really want to read is the Throne of Glass series. This series, I believe it's finished now, but has gotten so much hype over the years. The covers are gorgeous, the storyline seems really cool. I have read the first book, Throne of Glass, about 2 years ago, and I'm kind of forget everything other than like the major like events in the story. So I don't really remember anything, but I have heard a lot of hype about it. Sarah J. Maas seems like an amazing author, and I do want to read more of her books, so I do want to read the Throne of Glass series just because of how cool and awesome it seems. And then also a duology I want to read is Six of Crows. This has recently getting a lot of hype as well. My friend who's a huge bookworm really recommended it to me as well. The cover is beautiful, if I may add. It just seemed like a really good story, and it seems to be getting a lot of hype for a good reason. Now for a few standalones I want to read. Now I'm kind of cheating on this list because some of these aren't standalones, they're just parts of a series that I haven't read yet, but I'm counting them as standalones because I'm not reading the whole series, so just bear with me. First off, being A Crystal in Time, and I'm gonna have a whole video on new releases I'm excited for, but I just really wanted to mention this one because I am really excited for this one. This is the 5th book in the School for Good and Evil series. You can scope that right over here. And I'm really excited for it. It comes out March 5th, I believe, and I'm really excited for this one because the last book just left me utterly destroyed in my heart, so I'm really excited for this book. It's just really good. If you have not read the School for Good and Evil series, please do. It's amazing. I love it. I hope you do as well. Next up is Thunderhead. This is the 2nd book in the Scythe, I think that's how you say it, Scythe trilogy, and I believe it's a trilogy. 3rd book hasn't come out. Second book came out last year, and I really am enjoying the first book. I really want to see the second book just because the story is really good. It basically follows humanity in like a couple hundred years once they've conquered like hunger, poverty, everything like that, and the only thing they have not is death. And so basically they get people who are called scythes to like basically legally kill people to control like population, stuff like that. And the world is just so cool. The characters are really good. Everything's about it really good. Please read it if you haven't already. But yeah, Thunderhead is definitely one I want to add to my list because it just seems so good. Next up is Paper Towns by John Green. Now, if you don't know who John Green is, go educate yourself. He got a lot of hype over the last couple of years, and I have not read many of his books. In fact, I only think I read The Fault in Our Stars like last year, so I need to fix that because he's got so much hype and his books do seem really good. They've been like multiple movies, and his brother now also just released a book, so I do really want to get like caught up in his book writing. And I read the like synopsis for Paper Towns, and that one seems really, really good. So if you've read Paper Towns, let me know if you enjoyed it, because this is a long list of books. I gotta prioritize some, but it did seem really good. I do want to get into some of John Green stuff because of how like iconic he is. I'm using that word too much, but it's okay. Paper Towns by John Green. I want to read it. Next up is The Da Vinci Code. This was recommended to me by my uncle and recently by my friend in school. This is not a YA book. It is an adult, but I do want to give it a try. Just try something new, and also it is like something iconic, just to say that word again. I've heard so many good things about it, and just kind of like that story that everyone knows, so I feel I need to join that train of people that know what this is, how amazing this book is. So I do want to read that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it just because it's not YA, and that's kind of the only thing I read, but we're gonna give it a try just because based off the recommendations I've gotten for it. And last but not least, my final book on this list is, I might butcher this name, bear with me, Heretics Anonymous. Heretics Anonymous? I think that's what it says. I have been wanting to read this book for months. Ever since I heard some booktuber recommend it, I have been psyched to read this book. I just have not purchased it. I don't know why. It slipped my mind. I want to read this so badly. It's basically about this kid who has been going to a lot of schools and ends up at a Catholic school, but he is an atheist, and he ends up making friends with a whole bunch of other people that don't really fit that like Christian, Catholic, like stereotype almost, and his group of friends are basically in this club called Heretics Anonymous, where they can be more of themselves. And it just sounds so good. I read a little like free preview. It's so good. So good. That book definitely is one I want to read in the new year just because of how much I've been wanting to read it recently, but just have never gotten the chance to. Anyways, yeah, those are some of the books and goals that I have for reading in 2019. Please share, I've already said this, but please share if you have any resolutions or books you want to read in the new year, just because I'm genuinely curious of what you guys want to read, because I know I love reading, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you do too. If any of these books sound of interest, I'll link them all down below so you can check them out for yourself. If you are deciding to read any of them with me, be sure to like let me know so I'll maybe like post a video about them and stuff like that. Those are my bookish goals for 2019, and I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, bye.